Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game. I'm David, and today, the Cosmic Encounter Power Showdown Part 7. We are starting things off with Magnet versus Vacuum. And this is kind of a tough one for me. This is base power in Vacuum versus completely new, redone Magnet. And I know Magnet from the original Cosmic, the Eon version of it, or Eon's edition. And Magnet's changed since then. So I go and I look at Magnet, and I'm like, hey, there's some stuff to like here. As a main player and ally after alliances are formed, use this power to force one offensive ally to become defensive ally, or vice versa. You can't use this power to choose yourself, but, there's some intrigue there. Vacuum is a power that's all about retribution. It's I lose ships, so I'm going to make you lose ships. But I think the power of Magnet is a better power. Magnet has an interesting wild. The super's not great, whereas Vacuum has a wild that's going to kind of help you. You get some ships back. The super on Vacuum is very powerful. Magnet's artwork, pretty good. Vacuum's also good. So I find myself, even though I like Magnet's power better, Vacuum has a lot more that goes for it. And Vacuum's going to end up advancing. Which, that's kind of why we have multiple criteria here. So then we find ourselves Vacuum versus the Aristocrat. And the Aristocrat is basically, he gets to pick the hand of cards that he starts the game with. And also gets to draw unused flares and add them in. Now, that's pretty good, right? Having a hand of your choice is a very, very good power. I like that. I like the artwork. It adds a little bit to the game, but I like some of the stuff that Vacuum has. I like more of the stuff that Aristocrat has. So Aristocrat is going to move forward. All right. That brings us to Might versus Moocher. Now, again, Might was an original power. And Might had this whole bluster mechanic, and if the defense has more than 3 cards in their hand, they can either discard down to a 3-card hand or just let you land, which is an interesting power. The wild, after alliances are formed, if your opponent has more ships than you, you can force all allies to go home. So nice defensive flair. I like the Might wild. The super, when you use your power to take any cards your opponent discards as a result of using the Might power, you look at them, add any or all, and there's a lot to like with Might. We look at Moocher, who alphabetically is next, and that's handy. Moocher, if you lose or fail to deal on the first encounter of your turn, you can use this power and you place any empty or unused couch tokens. So Moocher has these physical couch tokens in any system other than the one in which you lost. Then place 1 to 4 of your ships on it from your colonies. Couches are treated as planet in the system where they now exist. When the offense doesn't invite you to ally and you have any couch colonies in their system, you can use this power to call shotgun. The offense must either let you ally with 1 to 4 ships from those couch colonies, or they let you take a random card from their hand. So Moocher gets you into alliances. Might, I find, hurts players, changes a lot of the game. Because the defense really has to go. Do I like my hand? Or am I willing to go down to a 3-card hand? Do I want to put up the fight or not? Might makes for tough decisions and can win a lot of the aspects of the game just because it exists. So I'm going to give this one to Might. Moocher, cool idea, but just going to live there. Okay, then we have Ace versus Yin Yang. Ace is this weird power where you win the game if you get one foreign colony, but you only win at the start of your turn. Yin Yang basically has this back and forth ability, ally with both sides, penalize people for not inviting Yin Yang. I like Ace, but Ace means you're basically playing a totally different game. Yin Yang has a good flair, has a lot of good stuff going for it. So Yin Yang going to advance there. Yin Yang versus Might. And again, I feel like I should actually pull Yin Yang up. So when you're invited to join both sides of an encounter, you may use this power to ally with both sides. If you ally with both sides and the defense loses, for each side you have allied with the offense, the defense can keep one of their ships on the planet instead of sending it to the warp. If you ally with both sides and the offense loses, for each ship you have allied with the defense, the offense may get a reward. When a main player declines to invite you to ally, you may give that player one of your Yin Yang tokens. Each main player who has a Yin Yang token, when their opponent loses ships to the warp from the encounter, must lose an equal number of ships from their colonies. So it's kind of a risk. And it's not like Yin Yang is exceptionally strong. But Yin Yang has this nice wild. When you lose ships to the warp, you may choose another player who, in your opinion, caused you to lose those ships. That player loses the same number of ships as you did. It's kind of a mini vacuum, right? It's vacuum is a wild. And we have vacuum up here. Might, I still think, is a stronger power, has stronger abilities. Yin Yang, though, really cool artwork. But Might's moving on. Might versus Aristocrat, though. This is a tough debate for me, because Might lets me get colonies. Aristocrat gives me control with a lot of good flares, a lot of deck control. Now, Might versus Aristocrat, heads up, Aristocrat's never going to want to get rid of their hand. But I'm going to give Aristocrat the win here because I would just rather play with Aristocrat. That's my take. All right. That brings us here to Phantom versus Locust Alternate Timeline. And this is two new powers, two from the campaign. And Phantom is all about, here, I'll transition over here. As a main player, after cards are revealed, use this power to add 2 to your encounter total for each of your ships on this sheet. You start with 1 from each of your planets on the sheet, so that's 5 ships, so you start with 10. Your ships in this encounter do not add to your encounter total, but do count for compensation and rewards. So it's kind of this trade-off. It lets you send 1 ship, and I like what happens there. And then when your ships would return to colonies, you can place 1 or more of them on this sheet instead. When you would move ships from your colonies or choose ships for other effects, you may use ships from this sheet. And then if you ever lose this power, you get all your ships back. The Phantom Super, you can use your power as an ally. The wild is main player after encounter cards are revealed. Place up to 4 ships from your colonies on either the hyperspace gate or the target planet as appropriate. This lets you be above the normal. So I like what Phantom's doing here, and there's a lot to like. The Locust was never a bad power. And the alternate timeline, as the offense or an offensive ally after you win the encounter, if the target planet has no ships on it other than the defensive ships, use this power to consume the planet. Remove the consumed planet from the game, place it on the sheet, send all ships on the planet to the warp. Each of your allies may either land their ships on another planet of their choice in the target system or return those ships to their colonies. Your ships return to colonies. So this lets Locust have allies, which was probably the biggest problem with Locust to begin with. Each planet you have consumed counts as one foreign colony towards victory for you, even if the power is later lost or stolen. If this power is stolen, consumed planets do not transfer with it. I like Locust. There's a lot of, or I like this new version of Locust, but there's still problems with it. Locust is a big threat, and people are not going to want to ally with it. So they're going to want to ally with it, well, more than the old Locust. So yeah, I like it. The Locust Super is strong. But I think Phantom's going to edge it out here. It is a big improvement on Locust, though. Loser versus Antimatter. This is probably a really old debate. I hate the math that's involved, and this is coming from a math teacher. But Loser is a stronger power. Antimatter has a lot of good going on with it, but Loser is just overall better. Now, Phantom versus Loser. This is a tricky one because Loser causes winners to lose and losers to win, as you might think. The Loser Flare is here. The Loser Flare. The Wild is the main player. Before encounter cards are selected, you can declare that both sides lose, sending all involved ships to the warp. That's one of the strongest Wilds to play as the defense. It frequently gets card zapped, but it is a great flare. The Super, you can wait until after cards are selected, but before they're revealed to declare an upset. And that really is a strong flare. So, with all of that going on, I think that Loser is going to beat out Phantom. Cool artwork on Phantom, though. All right. Let's keep pushing this. Demon's a power all about taking over other people's turns, and I've never liked that. Filth sends people away from your colonies. Demon, yeah. While Filth is not great, it's annoying. In fact, it's a better power than Demon. Joker versus Prophet. Now, Joker is this cool power, honestly. You get 9 Joker tokens, 6 different attack numbers, and negotiate a morph and a retreat. You put them on this sheet. And you have wild cards. Attack 8s are initially wild. At the start of your turn, you can name any other attack card to become the new wild card. Whenever somebody reveals that number, you change, you put a wild token on it. And so you swap the value. And Joker has a lot going on. The wild's nice. You can, as a main player or ally, you can change one revealed negotiate card into an attack 8. That's good to if you get betrayed by thinking somebody was going to make a deal with you. Now your negotiate's an 8. You could betray someone in a negotiate and turn into an 8 and say, I win. Or if somebody's played a negotiate thinking they're going to get compensation out of you, you can turn into an 8. So there's a lot of flexibility there with the Joker Wild. Prophet, on the other hand, is a new power, unless I'm completely misspelling things. And Prophet, at least as best as I remember, no, it's not. It's from Conflict. Prophet, you make predictions. If you're not involved as a main player or ally, use this power before cards are selected to predict which main player will win. A deal counts as a win. If you're correct, you gain a colony. If you're not correct, the winner selects any 2 of your ships and sends them to the warp. It's a big swing. But, yeah. I like the craziness that Prophet brings to the game. Joker is awesome, but Prophet creates these swings that are just, well, they're crazy. And that's what makes this all kinds of interesting. Prophet versus Filth. Prophet, again, it's the swings. Filth is an amazing power when it's hidden. But short of that, it's just not going to. It's not going to be a worthwhile power. When you trade colonies, you have to vacate. Winning allies don't land on the defending planet. They each gain a colony on any other planet of their choice in the defending system. Filth just has all these extra rules that make it not as much fun. So, loser versus Prophet. Loser is stronger and is more consistent. The flare's better. Like, everything about Loser is just consistent and consistently good. So that's why Loser is going to move on to face the Aristocrat in the round of 32. All right. That is it for me. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.